Welcome to George MacDonald and Us. This is Catherine.
And this is Shaun.
And today we are doing a Halloween special because we love Halloween. It is just one of the best holidays, I think, in our calendar. And I feel like it's the last really cultural thing that we do as a culture where we're actually interacting with each other, like our entire community. Like we're knocking on strangers' doors in our community and we're exchanging things, and it is just a beautiful thing. We are dancing with witches and having fun with them, and death and skeletons and ghouls and goblins, and it is such an important holiday, especially for Roman Catholics, and I'll get into that later. But first of all, I also really wanted to celebrate two things on the podcast. The first one is we have again doubled our Spotify listeners. So as of this recording, which is taking place in October 2023, we have gone from 2 to 4 subscribers on Spotify. So thank you, listeners. Thank you for subscribing. And I also just want to say, if people are subscribing on other platforms, I don't know if you are. So I mean, I don't want to leave anybody out because we appreciate every single listener and every single subscriber. And I also wanted to say that we had a listener write to us on YouTube. They commented on one of our videos, and he gave us some really helpful feedback. And the first thing that was mentioned was that we have not been able to hear Shaun very well. So Shaun now has his own mic.
Hopefully it sounds a lot better.
Yes, I think it does. And he also mentioned that he had no idea how to contact us. So I am so thrilled that this podcast is growing based on the listeners' needs. So we now actually have a website, and it is georgemacdonaldandus.com. So you can find a way to contact us that way very easily. And I will put a link to our website in the show notes. So back to Halloween. Like I said before, it's a very important holiday and one that I'm very grateful for. I have so many wonderful memories as a child growing up with Halloween. My nanny loved Halloween, and we had a big Halloween party at my nanny and Grandpa Gordy's house. We played fun, scary games, and we had costume contests. The house was just dimly lit with candles, and Nani made these amazing popcorn balls, and we would sit around to a real fire in the fireplace that Grandpa Gordy would light along with his pipe, because Grandpa Gordy loved to smoke pipes, and we would either listen to a scary story that my dad recorded, or we would sit around in a circle and my aunts and uncles would tell a scary story together. So one person would start the story and tell the story for a while, and then the next person would tell the story for a while. And anyway, I mean, Halloween has just been a huge source of joy in my life, and I am passing on the torch for that. And I do want to address one thing. It's troubled me because this is kind of been around some Roman Catholic circles for a while, and I'm just going to speak to my Roman Catholic brethren here. If you belong to another faith, you can just tune out. I'm not addressing you. I'm addressing my fellow Roman Catholics here. But I remember as a child in grade school, I went to a Catholic grade school, and we had a principal who wasn't going to let us celebrate Halloween because she thought it was evil. And then whatever. That just seemed to go away. But now this anti-Halloween movement in Roman Catholic circles, and I'm almost positive this is unique to American Catholics. I have a friend, and I got her permission to tell this story on the podcast, but she belongs to a Bible study made up of Roman Catholic women who are doing their best to live the faith out to the best of their ability. But they have been sadly misled, and they went around and talked about how evil it is to celebrate Halloween, and how if you want to be a good Catholic, you should not be celebrating Halloween. And I'm very sad about this movement. That is contrary to our tradition, by the way. If you go to Italy, there is a witch that is part of the Christmas tradition in Italy. She flies around giving the gifts to children. She's a witch. She's a little smiling witch. And this happens all the time in our Catholic Western tradition. I think about Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. Here they are celebrating, Christmas, the Christmas feast, and in walks a headless green giant. And there's a sense of horror here. And my friend, as I was just hashing all of this out with her, made an incredible point. She said, "Why are we giving these things more power than what they really have?" She's like, I'm looking at my little smiling toy witch sitting on my counter. Why are we giving that little smiling toy witch more power than she needs? And my friend wasn't trying to be profound or anything, but to me, that's kind of it. That is so profound, because if we don't play with the witch, she's gonna play with us. She will overpower us if we don't engage with her and be in relation with her in this very childlike way. Sleeping Beauty. The 13th witch doesn't get invited, but she comes anyway. She comes with a vengeance. So it is important, I think, Halloween gives us a chance to play with these dark realities, because the dark realities are there, whether you want to face them or not. They're there, they're going to come, they're already here. And so I think Halloween is a great symbolic way of being able to play with, have fun with, engage with these dark realities in a childlike way. So on that note, we are going to have fun reading 3 of George MacDonald's poems that have a Halloweeny feel to them. He wrote a poem called Halloween. However, it's written in his Scottish dialect, and we could not tackle that at all. So maybe next year we have some plans for next year and in the future for situations like that. But for now, we've picked 3 that we feel fit the theme of Halloween, to celebrate Halloween with our listeners and have fun tonight. We're not going to talk about the poems afterwards. We're just going to listen to them so you can just enjoy them and then go out and celebrate Halloween. I am dressing up as a witch, and my little 5-month-old baby is going to be my black cat. Our oldest is going to be Spider-Man.
Iron Spider.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. Iron Spider. That's right. It is very specific. Our girl is going to be Ghost Spider from the cartoon series, and then our other little boy is going to be a ghost pirate. So he's got his R down pretty good. Yeah. And okay, just one more thing. I cannot wait for Halloween. And my favorite thing to do on Halloween night, Shaun takes the kids out trick-or-treating, and I stay and I give, I answer the door, but I watch black and white scary movies. My favorites to watch on Halloween night are Gaslight with Ingrid Bergman. And then when everybody's in bed and I've turned out all the lights and I only have the jack-o'-lanterns glowing on our mantle, I watch Dracula with a nice glass of dark red wine. I just love Halloween.
The first poem we'll read is called Mammon Marriage. The croak of a raven hoar, a dog's howl kennel tied. Loud shuts the carriage door. The two are away on their ghastly ride to death's salt shore. Where are the love and the grace? The bridegroom is thirsty and cold. The bride's skull sharpens her face, but the coachman is driving, jubilant, bold, the devil's pace. The horses shivered and shook, waiting gaunt and haggard, with sorry and evil look, but swift as a drunken wind they staggered, Lonks Lethe brook. Long since they ran no more, heavily pulling they died, on the sand of the hopeless shore, where never swelled or sank a tide, and the salt burns sore. Flat their skeletons lie, white shadows on shining sand. The crusted reins go high to the crumbling coachman's bonny hand, on his knees awry. Side by side, jarring no more, day and night side by side. Each by a doorless door, motionless sit the bridegroom and bride on the dead seashore.
The Dead Hand. The witch lady walked along the strand, heard a roaring of the sea. On the edge of a pool saw a dead man's hand. Good thing for a witch lady. Lightly she stepped across the rocks, came where the dead man lay. Now, pretty maid, with your merry mocks, now I shall have my way. On a finger shone a sapphire blue, and the heart of 6 rubies red. Come back to me, my promise true, come back, my ring, she said. She took the dead hand in the live, and at the ring drew she. The dead hand closed its fingers 5, and it held the witch lady. She swore the storm was not her deed, dark spells she backwards spoke. If the dead man heard, he took no heed, but held like a cloven oak. Deathly cold crept up the tide, sure of her made no haste, crept up to her knees, crept up each side, crept up to her wicked waist. Over the blue sea sailed the bride in her love's own sailing ship, and the witch she saw them across the tide as it rose to her lying lip. Oh, the heart of the dead and the hand of the dead are strong hasps they to hold. Fled the true dove with the kite's new love, and left the false kite with the old.
A Dead House. When the clock hath ceased to tick, soul-like in the gloomy hall, when the latch no more doth tick, tongue-like in the red peach wall, when no more come sounds of play, mice nor children romping roam, then looks down the eye of day on a dead house, not a home. But when like an old sun's ghost haunts her vault the spectral moon, when the earth's margins are all lost, melting shapes nigh merged in swoon, then a sound, hark, there again. No, 'tis not a nibbling mouse, 'tis a ghost unseen of men, walking through the bare-floored house. And with lightning on the stair to that silent upper room, with the thunder-shaken air sudden gleaming into gloom, with a frost wind whistling round from the raging northern coasts, then mid-sieging light and sound, all the house is live with ghosts. Brother, is thy soul a cell, empty save of glittering motes, where no live loves live and dwell, only notions, things, and thoughts, Then thou wilt, when comes a breath, tempest shaking ridge and post, find thyself alone with death, in a house where walks no ghost.
We hope you have a very happy Halloween. Thank you for listening. Please do check out our Patreon page and consider supporting us. And please visit our website. And yeah, we will see you in November. Have a happy Halloween.
Thank you all.